One of the homework problems you have for tonight's homework is PR 19-5A, and it's a little bit tricky, so I wanted to walk through PR 19-5B with you, and I think that'll help. So this is a company that is making accessories for iPhones or tablet computers called the iLeather, and it gives us some information here. $750,000 was spent on marketing and advertising, 1.4 million that was spent on materials, and 1.4 million promoting it. Then they give us some direct material cost for each unit. So I've got leather of $10, velvet of $5, and packaging of 40 cents for $15.40. That's my direct materials per unit. And it talks about the production process here. I think it's worth reading that. It has a machine that requires 1 hour to produce 125 units. That's going to be important when we come to factory overhead. And it says the direct labor cost to do the final processing on it is 50 cents per unit. Salespeople get a 20% commission. It tells us we completed 500,000 units during the year. We sold 460,000, so that tells me right there that we've got 40,000 in inventory, and we sell them at a price of $40 per unit. So factory overhead cost is applied to jobs at a rate of $1,250 per machine hour. And it says we have an additional 22,000 that are cut and stitched that we're waiting to be assembled. So that's work in process. It's stuff that has started but not done. And what it lacks is labor. It's got the material and the overhead in it, but not the labor in it. So they want us to prepare an income statement and then what the balances in the two finished goods and work in process inventories are. So I'm going to walk through the solution here. So first of all, we've got sales of 18,400,000. Where did that number come from? Well, that number came from the 460,000 units we sold times $40 per unit. So I have sales of $18,400,000. Next, I've got cost of goods sold of $11,914. So cost of goods sold, I'm going to need to calculate the total cost per unit, because I know I sold 460,000 units. So right here, I've got the total direct materials of $15.40. The problem gave us that, so I know I've got that much direct material. Remember, there's always 3 types of cost in every object: direct material, direct labor, and factory overhead. So I've got $15.40 in direct materials per unit. The problem told us that the direct labor was 50 cents per unit. And then it told us factory overhead cost. And now factory overhead costs were $1,250 per hour for that machine. And the machine can make 125 units in an hour. So that works out to factory overhead cost of $10 per unit. The predetermined rate in that case is $12.50 per machine hour, $1,250 per machine hour. So I've got a total manufacturing cost of $25.90. So $25.90 times the 460,000 I sold is $11,914,000. That gives me a gross profit, sales minus cost of goods sold, of $6,486,000. And then I've got selling and admin expenses. So I've got salesperson commissions. That's 20% of $18,400,000. They earn a 20% commission. I've got advertising design work, $750,000, and then advertising expenses of $1.4 million. So I've got selling expenses of $5,830,000. That gives me income from operations of $656,000. So that's the bottom line for that company. So that's part 1. Now part 2, what is the finished goods balance? Well, the finished goods balance means the product is finished, so it's got all of its cost in it. So I'm going to have $25.90 per unit in cost. And remember, we made 500,000 units and 460,000 were sold. So I've got $1,036,000 for finished good inventory. The work in process, they told us, was another 22,000 units that we had started. Beyond the 500,000 we finished, we had another 22,000, and they just had material and overhead in them because we gathered the materials, put them through the machine, but hadn't done the direct labor portion yet. So that works out to 558,800. So hopefully this has been helpful. If you have any questions when you're working through PR 19-5A, please consult this video. And if you still have questions, shoot me an email. Thank you.